The future of long-term care is shifting under our feet, says experts analyzing the big, beautiful bill. I have several clients working their way through the Medicaid long-term care application process, and they're concerned about the one big, beautiful bill and if it's going to impact their ability to qualify for long-term care. Let's unpack this big bill that just passed and see how it'll impact long-term care. One big, beautiful bill has a lot of seniors asking what these new changes are really meaning for the future of Medicaid long-term care. When the rules around Medicaid eligibility shift, it can feel like the ground's moving underneath your feet, especially if your loved one needs long-term care, or maybe you do sooner in the future. The media hasn't helped, painting a picture where everyone on Medicaid's at risk. Well, that's not entirely accurate. So let's clear it up and see what's really going on. Medicaid has many programs, and when the media says Medicaid's at risk and the President of the United States is making changes to reduce fraud, waste, and abuse, many people are concerned. When it comes to Medicaid long-term care and the big, beautiful bill, there are actually only two sections that address long-term care. Section 71108 of the bill, which amends how home equity is treated from Medicaid eligibility. It sounds complicated, but it doesn't affect as many people as you might think. Before these changes, there were strict limits on how much home equity you could have while still qualifying for Medicaid long-term care services. Now, the states have more flexibility to set those limits for themselves. For example, they can go as high as $1 million in home equity, but no higher. Important, this cap is meant to be a fair balance and ensures that Medicaid funds aren't misused while addressing the regional cost of living differences that makes a one-size-fits-all an impractical rule. Well, this might feel like a big shakeup. Here's the thing. These rules won't change till 2028. That means there's time to prepare and adapt and make financial strategies well before anything takes effect. So why all the confusion? It's simple. When people hear Medicaid cuts or new restrictions, they assume it's an across-the-board reduction. But this amendment was designed to provide flexibility. States have the option to raise equity limits, which would actually help people, some of the seniors who maybe would qualify who couldn't before. That said, there's a flip side. These limits won't be consistent everywhere. A senior in Florida might encounter a totally different rule than someone in Texas or Ohio. And because Medicaid's so state dependent, you'll need to pay attention to how your state decides to implement these changes. What this means for you is that planning for long-term care becomes even more essential. With the right steps now, you can avoid costly mistakes and be ready if you or your loved one will need care in the future. Section 71111 of the Big Beautiful Bill has made waves in the long-term care world. It pauses the enforcement of the new federal staffing requirements for nursing homes. It pauses it until 2034. These requirements, introduced by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, were set to raise minimum staffing standards, but the moratorium puts a hold on that for a decade. At first glance, this might seem like a win for nursing facilities. Their operating costs won't spike for now, but it raises important questions about what this means for the residents and their families. While the moratorium might give facilities much needed financial breathing room, it also raises concerns tied to understaffing, like slower response times, missed baths. Those types of things could worsen. For profit-sharing nursing homes, which makes up about 70% of the industry, they're often inclined to cut costs wherever possible, including labor. This trade-off between profit and care standards is at the heart of the debate about the bill's impact. So how can you protect your loved ones in this shifting landscape? Start by thoroughly vetting any facility you consider. Ask about their staffing levels, staff turnover rates. Being informed helps you choose what's best for your loved one, your situation. With this change, the change in power, understanding your moratorium's impact not only allows you to make better choices, but also prepares you to advocate for a better system. Whether you're planning for Medicaid eligibility or researching nursing homes, proactive steps are the key. The big, beautiful bill sparked a lot of anxiety, but the truth is, its changes are more nuanced than they seem. For most seniors needing Medicaid long-term care, the impact will be minimal. However, understanding the details is key. Planning ahead has never been more important. If this video has been helpful, subscribe to our channel. Medicaid planning can feel overwhelming, but resources like this channel can help simplify the process. Stay informed.